Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer. You know, my wife is kind of upset with me. She said that every morning my neighbor kisses his wife goodbye before he leaves for work. She wants to know why I don't do that, but I told her. I barely know my neighbor's wife. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at Zombicide Eternal Empire from CMON.
My zombie girl claws her way up through the soil. She wants me bad, but I know that she'll stay loyal. She wants a kiss, leans in like this, then bites off my lower lip. She's in my heart, but wants in my head. I'm in love with the living dead. She's one of the dead. She's one of the dead. She's one of the dead. I'm in love with the dead. Her teeth start to rot, but I think her body's still smoking hot. Yeah, she lost some weight. I'm not shallow, but I think it's great. She once was pink, but now she's all gray. I kinda like it more this
Zombicide White Death Eternal Empire is the campaign expansion to your Zombicide White Death game. Now, I recently covered White Death and gave you my thoughts on Zombicide White Death, so I'm going to go ahead and take a look here at the campaign game and tell you what I think. Now, I should point out that my friends and I have not played the entire campaign here. We've only played through the first few scenarios, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you what kind of you can look for in this scenario without any spoilers, and critically, my thoughts. Now, Eternal Empire brings several new ideas here. First of all, you have chai, and it is a resource in the game. Essentially, every hero will start with 3 chai. You'll have these little chai tokens that you'll put on your board. And your chai is going to be very important throughout the game because it's going to give you access to new abilities. Each player in their blue section will have a specific ability for their chai that you can spend, but you can only spend once on your turn. You can only spend it for one action to activate that specific ability. If you want to bring in characters from Zombicide Black Plague or the other fantasy Zombicides, there's actually cards they provide that you can actually deal out to those characters so that they too will have special chi abilities when they play. Now, you can also spend chai to recast an enchantment. Now, usually enchantments are kind of, one and dones, but here you can actually spend chai to do it a second time. Now, this game has an entirely new search deck because in the search deck, you're going to find weapons that can allow you to spend chai in order to improve one specific skill. You may go from a 1 damage to a 2 damage. You may go for a range 1 to a range 2. You may go from rolling 1 die to 2 die, etc., etc. So they really can enhance the weapons that you will use in this game. Now, because you've got chai and it is a finite resource, you have a new action, and this new action is meditation. Every time you are in a space with no zombies in there or no corruption in there, you can meditate. Now, if you meditate, you can bring your chai back up all the way to 3. But on the board in the scenarios, you will also find the chai statues. And if you go to a space with a chai statue and meditate there, you will actually gain up to 6 chai. You can bring the total number of chai you have up to 6. Now, you've also got a new abomination. This is the God Eater abomination, and it will actually not move toward the heroes. It's not intending to attack the heroes. Rather, it's moving toward those chai statues. Now, if it's in the same space with the chai statue and it activates for 1 attack, it will destroy that statue. You can take it apart and just leave the base there, and you know that statue is kaput. This game also has the Warden brutes. These are green brutes that are going to come on the board, and they're pretty nasty too. Now, typically when you do reveal a card from the zombie deck, and it's an entirely new zombie deck here, when you reveal that card, it will tell you how many brutes to put on the board. But critically, it will also tell you that you need to add a Warden brute. So you'll put 1 Warden brute in with that group of brutes that come out. Now, the Warden brute is pretty scary because what that means is as long as there is a Warden brute on the board, you cannot attack any zombies at all unless you spend chai. So you have to have chai available if you want to attack anybody on the board. Now, certain scenarios will also have the orange spawn token, number 5. And if that means if that's on the board and anybody gets to the orange level, that spawn zone becomes active. Now, this is a campaign game. And of course, what that means is at the end of every round, you can go ahead and kind of track your progress. Did you succeed in that mission? Did you do other things that will give you experience? And you kind of track that experience from mission to mission. So you can go ahead and kind of level up. If you get to certain places, you can kind of get bonus abilities and other goodies that you can do as you level up through these missions. Critically, too, you have equipment that you can carry with you. If once you end the game, you look at all of the equipment that you've gained over the course of that game, and they will have lock symbols on them and a number associated with it. So that's the number of die you're going to roll to try to retain that card. But if you roll any ones, then it's broken. You don't get to carry it with you. If, however, you don't roll any ones, you get to keep that card for the next scenario. Now, campaign scenarios 2 and Zombicide also have a kind of a greater narrative element because you have kind of objective cards around the board. And as you go to these locations and read the card for an action, you frequently are given various options and sometimes access to do different things. And critically, there's a more of a story element there, as I mentioned. So that's an important part of any Zombicide campaign, and that is very much the rule here. So players are going through the scenarios. They are attempting to gain chi by meditation. They are attempting to protect the statues. They are gaining more equipment. And critically, they are trying to kill zombies. If players succeed in the specific scenario requirements, they advance to the next quest and they win. Zombicide, White Death, Eternal Empire. We'll get back to the review in just a moment. I want to take a minute to ask you to check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about history, books on history, military history. I even post some of my lectures for my classes on there. Please check that out. Please subscribe to that channel. And now, back to the review. Okay, so first of all, I don't play a lot of campaign games because they take a lot of time, and I'm constantly getting new games that I need to produce stuff for. And so I really don't have a lot of time to play campaign games. I'm still 5 games shy of completing Undaunted Stalingrad, and I've had that for, gosh, nearly 2 years now, I think. So I got to get that one finished. Kim and I have got to sit down and get that one done. I rarely play through campaign games generally, but I really like the Zombicide campaign games because I do like that narrative element. I like that greater story that drives them with the cards that you find on the board. To me, that's a lot of fun. That really enhances the game. It makes it a little more exciting and gets you invested a little bit more in the game. I kind of almost wish they'd find a way to do that in some of the regular scenarios. Give you just random cards that you can put out there and give you stuff. I think that would be pretty cool. Give you story stuff, right? So this game is interesting because it really adds that element of the chai and the statues and meditation. And that's, again, it's a pretty fun and exciting new way to play the game. It's pretty cool when you've got a weapon that has its limitations, but you realize, well, I can spend this and suddenly there's new possibilities. That weapon becomes enhanced and a lot better. And I really like that aspect of the game here quite a bit. I also I have a love-hate relationship with the Warden brutes because they're they make things so much more difficult, right? Because if you're out of chai and you've got zombies coming, you're screwed. If you can't meditate. In fact, in one of the scenarios we were playing, I had one dude in a space, and like 3 or 4 walkers come in. I'm like, okay, I can take these guys out, but I was out of chai. I didn't have enough points to leave. I couldn't get out of that. I was going to die. They were going to kill me. And fortunately, one of the other players went before I did, and he was able to take out the warden. And so I was able then to fight these guys without having to spend chai. So that was, like I say, I've got a love-hate relationship with them. But it's a fun new aspect of the game. It's a fun new way to play the game with those evil zombie wardens. But all told, this was a lot of fun. My friends and I, we really enjoyed it through the games we played. We may, who knows, we may pick it up and finish this at some point. But it's great fun. If you like Zombicide campaign games, you're gonna love this one. From what I played so far, it's really immersive. Like I said, that story there is really a lot of fun, but it's still just rolling dice, zombie killing. We had a ball with it, and I think as an expansion goes, I think it works very well. As a campaign expansion, I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10 on the Cody scale. It's a lot of fun. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we'd ask you to please go ahead and leave a comment for us here on this video on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on Facebook, on Twitter. We would ask you to please like this video and please subscribe to our channel. That means a lot. Please also give a thumb to this video on Board Game Geek. Now, if you do like this channel, I would urge you to check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about history, military history, books on history. I post some of my lectures on there, so please subscribe to that channel as well. It would mean the world to me. Now, also, too, if you do like what you see here, please consider clicking on the Super Thanks button and leaving a tip. Do colorblind people see the word Colorado as just Addo?
'Cause she doesn't nag and she don't complain, and she's way into my brains. She's one of the dead, she's one of the dead, she's one of the dead. I'm in love with the dead. She's one of the dead, she's one of the dead, she's one of the dead. Yeah.
I play this game and I think of the Mikado. The Mikado? Gilbert and Sullivan? No. 3 little maids from school are we, filled the brim with girlish glee. 3 little maids from school, everything is a source of fun. Do, 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 do. No one's safe for a care for none. Do, do, do. Life is a joke that has just begun. Do,
Never
do,
heard of it.
3 little maids from school, 3 little maids from school, 3 little maids who all unwary come from a ladies' seminary, free from a studious tutor Larry.
Do we need to talk about childhood?
My dad was a Gilbert Sullivan fanatic,
I
so